All right, and we are live. What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Malika, aka Mali, aka Malibu. Whatever you want to call me, it's me, and you don't know that this is Malika's Flex. Tonight we have a very special guest. Some of you know him, some of you don't know him. Whether you know him or not, I'm going to reintroduce or introduce him to you. He is from Ghana, and I am so excited to have him on my platform. I have a few Ghanaian friends, and like I said, I'm just truly excited to have this person on with me tonight. Without further ado, let me stop talking because you guys know that I'll talk forever. So whether you're watching this in the moment or after the fact, I welcome you to Malika's Flex. Go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Welcome to the stage, y'all. Avery. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Malika, eh, I'm so glad.
So I've been practicing.
Mhm.
I've been practicing, and I hope I get this right.
Okay,
Oh my God, how is it? Memawo Okwabo.
okay,
I
okay.
hope I
It's
said it
it's
right.
yeah, that's it. So me mawa akwaba.
Memawo Okwabo.
Thank you, me
Memawo
Joso Malika.
Okwaba, y'all.
Basically, that's it. Me Joso pa.
Okay,
Okay,
okay. Hold up. I don't know all that.
okay. So I'm gonna cool down a little bit.
Yes, cool down. It's the little that I researched before starting. And
Good,
let me say to
good.
all my other Ghanaians watching, Memawo Okwaba.
Akwaba, yeah, me mawa akwaba. You
Okwaba.
are welcome. Yeah, you are
Yes.
welcome.
So welcome to Malika's Flex. Welcome to all my other viewers. Big up my Jamaicans, big up my Trinidadians, my Indians, everybody wherever you're watching from. I'm going to go ahead and allow y'all to introduce himself. You guys know I'll just talk. So let me go ahead and introduce yourself, y'all.
Okay, so. I think there is this cliche in Ghana that whenever you are invited on an interview, you're supposed to thank the panelists and your listeners first. So I thank all the viewers, the listeners, and the audience out there for taking time to watch my Lycal Flex channel. So without much ado, my name is Yao Boache Abre. Yao is the first name, Boache is the second name, and Abri is the last name. Too bad my middle name is getting messed up in the US because they can't pronounce the KYE, that suffix KYE. So I don't usually use that. So the name is Yao Abri, and that's the name I've been using for my clothing brand, all my social media presence. So that is me. And Yao Abri is a Ghanaian teacher who is an artist by profession and also an art teacher who recently came to
Ooh.
South Carolina on the cultural exchange program. And I think I've been here almost for 6 months, and I'm teaching a middle school. For confidentiality's sake, I can't pronounce the school, but I teach in Columbia, South Carolina, in a middle school as an art teacher. So I think this is the brief introduction I can give about myself. If there are any further questions you'd want to, proceed on, I'll bring more answers to that.
If you don't mind, y'all, could you tell me where in Ghana are you from? I'm acting like I know the different places in Ghana, but where in Ghana are
Okay.
you from?
So I'm from Kumasi, and I think Kumasi is the second, should I say second capital? Because if you are going to Ghana, I think that Accra is going to be the touch point because that is the only place that had an international airport so far. But recently, Kumasi is going to get an international airport, so Kumasi is the second biggest city in Ghana. And I come from the tribe Asante. And if you know your history, since this month is going to be Black History Month, most of the Black
Mm-hmm.
Americans you see around, most of the Black Caribbeans you see Most of them either come from Ghana or Nigeria. Most of them, especially the Anglophone ones. So, Malika, your descent may be from Ghana. So we are going to
Yes.
get you a Ghana card very soon. So I'm from
Ah,
Ghana, Kumasi, and I'm an Asante, a proud Asante. Yeah,
well, let me add to history for those who don't know. My Jamaicans know the history already, but within Jamaican history, we are mostly from West Africa, which is
good,
where Ghana
good.
is, right? Ghana is in the western part of
Yeah,
Africa. So it's very much possible that I could be, my ancestor could be somewhere from Ghana and, other parts
yeah,
of West Africa. Um, and fun fact, like I said earlier on, I have friends in or from Ghana, and they're also from Kumasi, Ghana.
yeah.
So it's nice to know that there is another Ghanaian that I've, met now, also from Kumasi. So, once again, welcome to my channel, y'all. I wanted
Thank
to
you.
center this conversation. We'll talk about the teaching side, but I also want to be very general, just about your experience in the United States. Let me start out by asking, because you said that you've been teaching here for about 6 months now, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh, have you ever actually visited the US before, like on a visitor's visa or anything like that?
Okay, so this is my first time coming to the US, and I've
Mm-hmm.
had family members who've stayed in the US for quite a while now. So
Mm-hmm.
my first touch point was in New York, JFK, and I stayed
Ah,
there for 2 weeks before coming over to South Carolina, where I've been stationed or posted. So I stayed in New York for 2 weeks, yeah, before coming over.
okay. What was your initial reaction coming to America? Your very first 2 weeks in New York. What were you thinking? What was going through your mind?
Okay, so I think if most of your Ghanaian followers are listening right now, if you are in Africa, especially in Ghana, we see the US to be the king of all Western civilization.
Mm,
They even say US is like heaven, the small heaven. That's how they say it. Okay. So
mm,
I have had a lot of research following you, following Dr. Britton and other YouTubers. I was able to research enough about the US. So I wasn't so much surprised. But when I got to Manhattan, New York, I think that's the only place that made me happy that I am in the US, that I've actually switched over from a different environment to a different pedestal. Manhattan is so, so beautiful. And
wow.
when I was a child, I had dreamed to see Christmas, a white Christmas in the US. And fortunately for me, I was able to go to New York this Christmas. Too bad for me, the snow never came. So I decided to walk around Manhattan, go to I think this place, Rockefeller Center, where they used to skate during all white Christmas and all that. It is a nice place, really,
Right.
really nice place. So first time experience in New York, that was a place that owed me a lot. But for the rest, I know there are places in Ghana that can equally compare to the US. A lot of places in Ghana, a lot of places in Ghana that can equally compare to the US. But when you
And I'm
go
happy
to
that you said
Manhattan,
that.
yeah, and the capital, yeah, and even part of Kumasi, we have a lot of places where they can equally compete with the US. Yeah.
Okay. Like you, in December of 2022, I went to New York as well to see a white Christmas.
Hmm.
However, before going, I consulted my coworker who told me that
Hmm.
if I go to, the main areas of New York, I would not. And so my coworker advised me to go to Buffalo. And so even though that's not, where
Okay.
all the excitement is happening, I went to Buffalo and I
Hmm.
got to see a white Christmas. As a matter of fact, we
Oh,
had to
okay.
get
You are
out of
lucky.
there sooner than we had planned to storm. Yeah, and we went to the Niagara Falls. So next time, maybe you could go there because there will definitely be
Okay.
snow. There's always
Okay.
there, I'm told,
Okay.
always snow in Buffalo.
Okay. I'll
So
do that.
But I'm happy when you spoke about the fact that there are many places in the US that are comparable to, places in Ghana, because,
Yeah.
sometimes the way the media paints, different parts of Africa, it paints it sometimes as this impoverished place when we
Mm-hmm.
know the truth. And I don't want to get
I'll,
into all that controversy, but
when when we go into details, I'll let you listen to certain pronouncements some of my kids made. They asked me, Mr. Aubrey, I said yes. Do Africans wear shoes? And I look at him, are you really serious? We wear shoes. I heard you eat with your hands. I heard Africans eat with their hands. I said you eat your burgers with your hands. So what are you saying? So I think they have this prejudiced image of Africa, which is very, very bad, and the Western media is intentional about that. So I
yes.
don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Okay. All right. So let me go and ask you, in terms of culture, what are some of the cultural differences that you are, if I could put it in top three, cultural differences that you would say that you have seen thus far between the US and Ghana?
Okay. I think if anybody is going to embark on this adventure, there are a lot of things you're going to see that you'll be surprised. Most of the interviews I've
Mm-hmm.
watched, they always talk about the accent. The accent is one of the biggest cultural shock. When I was in Ghana, I loved American movies, so I was thinking I could fit in easily over here. But you can never
Yeah.
deceive your tongue. You can never deceive it. Even you Jamaicans who are very close to them, you can really see the difference. How much more we that have been speaking the British language and all that. Our accent is purely British, so you can never blend in. So you can talk with them a lot. You say, huh? What you saying? Huh? Sometimes they decide not to proceed further with the conversation. Okay, never mind. So I think accent is one of the biggest cultural shock ever. Don't tell yourself you know how to speak good English and all that. We are not talking about good English. We are talking about communication. You speaking for them to hear, and you also speaking for them to also
Right.
hear. That is communication. It's not about you knowing a lot of vocabularies and all that. It's communication. And if there's a breach of
Right.
communication, I think you both are not going to understand yourself properly. So that is the biggest shock. And one other thing is the prejudice of America being the perfect country. That is another shock. When I got to New York and I could see refuse gathered on the street, it stayed there for almost a day and two. I said, this is also found in my country. So why are people saying that Africa is impoverished or Africa is uh, let's say, a still developing country? So that is another shock. And one other was you walking through an environment or an atmosphere where everybody is smoking. Ghana wouldn't. I think
Mm,
uh, my recent days, my latter days in Ghana, I never saw someone smoking in public. Mhm. I never saw that. So
mm,
if you are coming on this trip, prepare that you're going to be a secondhand smoker because one way or the other, you're going to
mm.
always smell it around. You are always going to smell it around. Even today, someone smoked cigarettes on me. I was going to service my car and just right in front of me, the mechanic was just blowing the fumes and all that. It entered me. So it's also part of it. So cultural shock, all part of it. And one other thing is, I think family system. Family system in Ghana, when you are bored, you can just walk out from your room, stay on the street, you can get people to talk to. Here, all they will do is good morning and they will pass by. If you are lucky, you can get someone who would easily identify you to be a foreigner, then they will start a conversation, but it is not that rampant over here. So family system and I wouldn't go so much into it, how their kids are brought up comparatively when you compare it to what we see in Ghana, there is a disparity. There's a chasm, a big hole, a big hole. So I think The main importance of this cultural exchange program is for us to, know that there are other cultures out here, so that we can alter ourselves again to fit in every community that we find ourselves. So these are the cultural shocks, or the department of cultural shocks I would want to mention for now.
Okay. And I can agree with you, especially where you spoke about the accent. And I know that you said that you think Jamaicans are closer to Americans where that is concerned, but no. I found myself in my earlier days here doing the same thing. Can you repeat, huh? What did you say? And just as you said, sometimes they would be, perturbed by me constantly asking, what are you saying? What are you saying? It's different, guys. Guys, those of you who are listening, the accent sounds different from what you hear on TV. It sounds so
Hmm.
much
Hmm.
different.
Yeah.
Um, but there are different accents, based on in it. I named or I titled this live, is the grass greener on the other side? And I've done this before with my Jamaican cohorts, and I want to do it with you to hear, from a Ghanaian's perspective, just to see if the grass is greener on the other side. Um, you did say that you see America, or Ghanaians see America as a blissful place. What was your main purpose for having that drive to move from Ghana to the United States of America?
Okay. My story may be quite different from all the stories people might have heard about teachers coming over just for the monetary benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a little information about me in Ghana was I was a teacher full time, and I was an entrepreneur part time. So I was a fashion designer, a self-taught fashion designer, a menswear fashion designer. Yeah. So I was running my business alongside a teaching job. So for me, I saw the teaching job as more relaxing for me to handle other jobs, not only with the clothing business. I also had other businesses that I run on social media to do some marketing and all that. So it wasn't monetary aspect only. So I'm going to go deeper. One, it started with uh, when I realized most of my friends around me, when you go to seek of them, you hear that they've traveled and all that. At the moment, there's some kind of aura in Ghana where everybody wants to travel. Everybody wants to travel. So I could go to any shop. Where is
Mm.
this friend of mine? Oh, he has traveled. Where is? I don't know if the my fate was trying to tell me something. So, well, I didn't want to mind them, and I was there when I'm very, very religious. I was a deacon at church, so I was really, really religious about certain decisions I take in my life. My wife came to me and said, her headmaster, my wife is also a teacher, her headmaster, who is also a prophet of God, told her that we are going to relocate to the US. I really did not agree with her because
Mm.
I had invested so much of my money in the fashion business. I'd invested
Ah.
at that time almost 80,000 Ghana cedis, 80,000 Ghana cedis. I think when you convert it into USD, it's going to be like, let's say $7,000, which is very huge in
Mm-hmm.
Ghana. $7,000.
Yes. Jamaica too.
Uh, yeah, I have started a classroom. I was having plans of opening an art school where you're going to teach fashion, you're going to teach graphic design, a whole lot of art forms over there. So I had a big dream. So me leaving all that behind to relocate, I wasn't so much cool with that. So I decided, as every Christian would do, I took it into prayers, prayed a lot about it, inquired from experienced people and all that. And they were all good advices. All that they could say is every decision that you take, you are going to bear the consequence. So pray about it and make a bold decision. And the funny part is, me being an entrepreneur and a teacher at the same time, if I could take my bank account, hoping that I would have a healthy amount of money sitting in there, it wasn't like that. So I was comparing all that. I've been juggling between two jobs, three jobs, and all that, but I don't have a physical amount or a huge amount in my bank account, which I can boldly say that from all the toiling that I've been doing, this is the amount of money I've been able to gather for these years. So
Right.
I think that I realized that, okay, so since I've heard people saying that if you go to the US or if you travel, there are certain things if you want to do, you can easily do them quickly. So I jotted that down. So traveling or teaching in the US could be a springboard for me to, do certain things. That was one. And two, I wanted to fulfill that prophecy. My wife told me that we're going to relocate. Though I had been praying about it, and personally, I did not hear a direct answer from God, even till now. My prayers is God should let me discover the purpose of me being here because I'm not the type who is all about the traveling. Everybody's moving, so we have to move. And my pastor was using Abraham as an example, him being able to move from his father's neighborhood and all that. We, they use a lot of Bible expositions and all that. But personally, I didn't have any conviction about this prophecy. So I wanted to, follow along the prophecy. So that was two. And change of environment, at least travel to go and see whatever thing is there that is making everybody wishing to go there. So these three reasons were the reason why I decided to embark on this journey. And God being so good, I told God that if it is truly from Him to make this decision or to embark on this journey, He should let doors open. So as many people are struggling to enter into the US, my situation was quite different because I didn't want to leave my business. So I told God that if these are the conditions over there, let the door open. And every door was opening so smoothly. Every door was opening. So that is the main three reasons: change of environment and wanting to fulfill a prophecy and also wanting to know why and what is making people flock to this place to
Mm.
come for a greener pasture. Yeah. Uh-huh. But if you compare the teaching job in Ghana, I know you're going to go to that area, so I'll pick it up
You
from
can
there.
speak freely. You can speak freely.
Okay. So when you're going to compare the teaching job to that of Ghana, I think the salary in Ghana I think it's not advisable for the government to be paying teachers with that amount. I know we can't compare US and Ghana, no.
Mhm.
But if the government can consider the teachers a little bit, make certain things easier for them, I don't
Mhm.
think most teachers are going to travel. One is if there is a way teachers can be given automobiles, cars to commute from home to workplace. I think one will be that one be the most incentive the government can give to teachers. It was there some time ago, but they canceled that. So I think more motivation for
Uh,
teachers will.
can I
Mhm.
stop you a little bit? Because you're
Okay.
mentioning cars and teachers. Are you saying that in Ghana,
Hmm.
let me quickly ask about how many teachers on average are at a school, would you say?
Hmm.
Let me ask that first.
Okay. You mean how many teachers are in a school?
Right, employed
Is
to
that
a
the question?
school.
Okay, so in my school in Ghana, I was teaching in a high school. It's called Antwa Senior High. I give everybody shout out over Antwa Senior High School. I think we had 60 to 90 teachers in the school. Yeah.
Okay. So I asked that question because no, I want to ask because you mentioned the cars. Out
Okay.
of the 60 to 90, let's put it in between. Let's call it 75, okay?
Okay,
Out of
good.
75 teachers, how many teachers would you say had a car?
I think these teachers are going to beat me after this interview. So I could count. I could count. It wasn't up to a 15.
Mm,
Wasn't
that's
not
interesting.
up to 15 1 5, no. So
Wow.
if you are using a car on campus, they have this tag they give you. They think you are kind of rich. And the funny thing
Mm,
is, within the 15 cars, most of them were rickety cars. Most of them were old cars and all that. So if you are using a little, what I was using wasn't even luxurious. It was a 2013 Toyota Corolla, and which was white. So everybody saw me to be up there, like I have some. Meanwhile, I had nothing in my bank account, but because of my business, because of my side hustle, I needed a car to, be delivering customers orders and all that. So I really needed a car, and the kind of customers you are dealing with, you can't just buy any car. So I wanted something, nice. So the teachers were seeing me to be like a rich teacher and all that. So car is a very great motivation for teachers in Ghana. If the government can take that part from teachers, I think teaching in Ghana will be okay. Yeah, though the
That
money is small, but
I asked the question because, while we're speaking about USA and whatnot, I'm also just in my mind comparing, your situation in Ghana to that of Jamaica.
mhm,
I would say that a higher number of teachers in Jamaica at any given school, if I should say 75 teachers are at a school in Jamaica, and maybe my
mhm,
Jamaicans listening can correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. But if we have 75 teachers at a school, we had around that at my high school in Jamaica. And we definitely had more than 15 teachers with a car.
okay,
Like the parking lot
okay,
was full. The parking lot was full with different, types of cars, old, not very old cars, but kind of young-ish, old-ish cars. But the thing is, most teachers or some teachers would take out a car loan. And with a
mhm,
car loan, like you can't take a car that's more than 7 years old. So that also contributed to the age, of cars that were in the parking lot. So I find it very interesting that your focus or one of the things that you are focusing on within Ghana and what you would want the Ghanaian government to do is to assist teachers with getting a car. I'm finding that very, very interesting.
okay,
Do you have a car now, y'all?
okay. So I'm going to add up to the problem again. So the
Okay.
funny thing is, if a teacher wants to get a car, okay, at the moment there is no financial institution that can give you an amount to get a car. If
What?
you have, you wait. I know my Ghanaian teachers will second in the comment section. So we have teaching buddies that can give an amount of 50,000 Ghana cedis. 50,000 Ghana cedis is like $4,200 around. Okay, yeah, around the neighborhood.
Mm,
So only the financial institutions can give you that, and their
wow.
interest rate. Only the teacher association groups could get you such an amount, that 50,000 Ghana cedis, and that is the maximum. You can't go beyond that. And I think
Wow.
one other teacher association, Nagrat, they came with a car loan. And if you go in detail, the interest rate they are putting on each car they are going to get you, it was over the top. So teachers were not going
Mm,
for that. So comparing that amount of that $4,200 that these teacher associations were giving to their teachers, if you go to the market to buy a car, you will definitely buy a car someone has used over the years. So you're not going to get a car imported from the US or imported from Europe. So that was a
right.
problem. And even if you get a car, the number of years you are going to suffer to pay for this car loan, Malika, you are going to cry if you don't have any side. So mine, I took a loan because I was a businessman and I know my business was fending for me. So I had a lot of my money coming from my fashion company that was supporting the family. So I took
Right.
the loan. I think at that time I took 30,000, which was $2,800 then. Then I add up my business money to it, okay, to get that car. So that was the reason why most of the teachers were seeing me to be a rich guy. But it was funded by my business. So no
Right.
financial institution will get you a loose car loan. A loose car loan, no. The interest rate is going to kill you. So none of the teachers will decide to go for a car loan just to ease their transportation to school. It isn't like that. So I will still say if the government can support the teachers, because we have this mentality that if a person has a car in Ghana, they are a little above the middle class. And even you having that mental ease that you are above the middle class wouldn't want you to travel to the US or Europe to, find greener pastures in quotes. Yeah.
Right. Wow. What modes of transportation do you have in Ghana for teachers to get to work? How does the average teacher get to work
Okay.
in Ghana?
So it is mainly by public transport. So we have two transportation means. We don't have the huge buses that is very common in New York and Boston and such states. It was this small van, the Nissan Airvan and the Toyota Hiace. So you have a bus conductor in it, and you share the ride with a lot of people. So you can imagine if you stay, let's say, 13 miles away from school, you would have to get up early, you share the ride with people, and this ride will be stopping each vantage point to pick people on the road. So if you don't wake up early, you are always going to be late at school. And because of I think teachers should be regarded as the emergency workers because we need very sound mind to do our jobs every morning. And you boarding this public transport and people are hustling you in the morning in that bus in the morning. I don't think you'll be in the right frame of mind when you get to school. So you either take the mini bus or you take a cab, a taxi. And if my Ghanaian teachers are in the comment section, they know they don't take taxis. Taxis are quite expensive than, as compared to the minivan. So most of them were taking the minivan or the minibus. It's called trotro. That's how we say it here, trotro. So they always take the trotro to school, and there are a
Wow.
lot of hassle in trotro. Yeah. So that's the mode of transportation.
Okay. In terms of lunch, does the government in Ghana provide lunch for teachers, or do teachers bring their own lunch to school?
Okay. So I'll use myself as an example. In Antoine Senior High, I think we were benefiting from the students. I think the students' funds that come from the government all the time to feed the students. So they sometimes prepare something special for the teachers out from that money the government sent over. So that was how teachers were being fed. But at the later times when I was coming to the US, it was almost stopping because the government said they don't have money and all that. So they were seizing all this supportive lunch they were giving to teachers. So at the moment, I don't know if my teachers in the comment section can attest that other schools are still benefiting from the lunch the government used to give to their teachers. But that is for the senior high. If you're in middle school or elementary school, if it is a public school, you don't get lunch. I stand to be corrected. You don't get lunch from the government. So
Mm,
you provide your own food. You can bring it from home
okay.
or you can just buy it around on school campus. So that's how teachers were being fed. So that could also be a motivation for teachers to stay. If I come to school and I get food for a lunch, I think it can also help us to stay.
Okay. All right. Mentally, my mind is really still stuck on the whole car situation. The fact that you really highlighted that. But I'm going to move away from the car situation. What were the teaching resources like in your high school? Did you have projectors? Student have laptops? Were the students allowed to bring their phones? How did it work in terms of the resources that were used
Okay.
to facilitate the teaching process?
Okay, so I'll first talk about the TLR, the learning resources. For an art
Mm,
teacher in Ghana, in Antoine Senior High, I'll use my school. I just want to mention their names so
okay.
that they know their member is online having an interview. So my studio
Oh.
was being shared by my studio was being shared by other teachers who are also art teachers. So I didn't have a
Mm-hmm.
full studio to myself or a full class to myself. And our
Mm-hmm.
classrooms are not without projectors. So most of the things we are teaching were abstract. If you are even teaching art history, you can improvise to take the kids to the computer laboratory to use the school's projector and computers. But if you decide to stay in a class to have to have a class on art history, everything is going to be abstract. You're just going to
Mm-hmm.
talk about it, and they might not see pictures of it. So, and again, we didn't have so much textbooks in art for our students. I know there are
Mm-hmm.
certain schools in Ghana who are very, very supported by their old students or their alumni, but my school
Right.
wasn't like that. So I didn't have so much teaching resources to facilitate my daily teaching in Ghana. So all you'll be given is a marker and your notebook for your lesson notes and any other thing else. You come with your knowledge, you come and teach, you give notes and all that. When it's time for practicals, the funny thing is here in the US, we are always getting grants and financial support to support art. I never knew that art is so prominent in a country.
Wow.
If you go to Ghana right now, in my school, there is always not money to support my department. You would have to collect certain money from the students, and these poor parents would be paying the money with tears. So
Yes.
they always had to pay. And that was the problem. So we are always, even if you want to have about 10 practicals, okay, because ours was practically oriented, we needed to do a lot of practicals. And if you are going to take like let's say $20 for each practical, it's going to be a war in my school. So you'd have to limit the number of practicals that you do so that it can favor the parents as well, so that you can also help the students in certain ways. So that was it. The teaching and learning materials was a problem. Yeah, so we bought everything with the contribution that we took from the students, brushes, paints, and everything. And on top of it all, art is not regarded so much in my country.
Mm-hmm.
Art is regarded as a hobby in Ghana. So I believe my art teachers who will be in the comment section will approve of that. That art is not regarded at all. It's not
Yeah.
as regarded as the sciences. If you're a science student, they have this some kind of respect they give you. But art teachers, art students, mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
So it was also part of the cultural shock when I got here that every semester you are getting financial support. Even you'll be getting them to a point that you see the the there is no need for you to apply for certain funds. The
Right.
materials are always going to be around. The materials are always coming. Funding are always coming. I was even till now, I'm surprised. The support is huge. So art teachers, if you're in Ghana, I think one motivation you can also come to the US is you are going to be supported to teach your kids to have massive impact on your kids who are so much in love with art. So that is the situation
Um,
on teaching and materials. Mhm.
I'm happy that you keep mentioning that you are an art teacher. How difficult was it for you to get a job in the United States as an art teacher? Because obviously it's not one of the STEM subjects,
Mhm.
that most districts are looking for. How difficult was it for you the very year that you applied with your program, because you're on a J1 program? Yes, the very
Mhm.
year that you applied, did you get through that year? Was there any difficulty? Tell me, what was your process like?
Okay, so I think uh, I would like to say and encourage every art teacher in Ghana that there are so many slots on this program for you to. I know most YouTubers concentrate on the sciences, the STEM programs, but music, I know schools who are willing to sponsor music teachers, physical
Mm-hmm.
education, visual arts, French teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So most people are thinking that it's only for the math, English, science, and social studies. No, there is we can compare ourselves to the STEM, definitely. We can compare ourselves to you guys. So there is
Yeah.
also uh, a demand for teachers like that. And so talking about myself, I think I heard about the program on YouTube, I think 2022, and I
Mm-hmm.
applied to it. EPI. EPI was really urging me on bring this, I submitted, bring that, I submitted. So it got to a point, he said I should upload my bank statement. And my bank statement, I wanted to be very truthful. I printed my bank statement and there was no money in it. So there and there they put me on hold. They put
Oh
me on
my
hold.
God.
And I was telling my wife, you told me to embark on this journey. You see, so I was really sad. And a wife who loves her husband so much was just consoling me in that night. So it entered into 2023. So I think the latter part of 2022, November, I applied to IAG. TPG never responded. I applied to which one else? So I was there in I think February, where IAG contacted me that I should prepare for a one-way interview, and I did
Mm,
it. I was really reluctant because I had decided I was no more going to the US. I want to focus on my business because I
right.
can make it in Ghana. So my wife told me again that you get do it, just do the interview and let's see what God wants from us. So I did the interview, and the next morning I had a congratulatory message that I'm being moved to the next stage. And then they scheduled me for a principal interview after some days. I aced in the principal interview, and then I was sent a job offer letter. I think in February, is it 13th or 14th? Yeah. So we can't compare ourselves to the STEM programs. There are teachers in here. I know three Ghanaian teachers.
All right. I'm not. I think my page is the one that's. Okay, my apologies. My internet, which I warned you about, y'all, is the absolute worst. And so it just decided to do a thing just now. So I hope you can see me now and hear me.
Yes, I can.
My
I can
internet
hear you.
is the worst. Maybe I need to stop using StreamYard and just do it directly because like my internet will show that I have full bars, but when I'm on StreamYard, it's like just 3 bars or 2 bars. So I
Okay.
hope I didn't miss too much of what you were saying. I apologize, viewers. This is why I have slowed down so much with my live streams because my internet in this app is not working out. So I apologize. Please continue. Um, did you finish making your point? Let me know if I can move on with a different question if I missed it.
Okay, so I'll say that there is also a medium or a moderate demand for art teachers and music teachers and the other subjects. Yeah, so that's what I can say. So since I'm here, I think there's demand in here. If you're in Ghana, I know three Ghanaian teachers who are art teachers right here. So you can also join us.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Uh when you mentioned EPI and the fact that they put you on hold because of lack of funds, I was basically rolling my eyes in my head because I'm like, EPI, I think, asks for too much, if I'm being honest. I
Yeah,
too had started to apply to EPI, and the many things that they were asking for, it was a plethora of things. It was just too much. It was police record, and as international applicants, we are kind of cautious whenever programs are asking us to do a background check, to do this, to do things that cost money,
yeah,
when the whole point of applying in the first place is that we're looking for money. um and you haven't been offered a job as yet. It's too much for someone who has not yet been offered a
a
job. So
job.
if there's a representative from EPI watching this right now or after the fact, please review your application process. Make it
Yeah.
easier. The other programs are making it easier for us. Make it easier as well. um but let me ask you, I asked you earlier on, but you were talking. Do you have a car now, y'all? Do you have a car now?
Okay, so I have a car now. I am driving a 2014 Mazda 6. I bought it used because I don't have money. So I bought a used car.
It's fine.
I bought a used car. So, but it's really really a good car. If you are buying that car in Ghana, I think I shouldn't say no teacher. Most teachers can't afford it in Ghana. Yeah, because I like modern technology, so I have everything in there, reverse camera, Bluetooth, and all very good sound and everything. It's a modern car, and most
Mm,
teachers can't afford it in Ghana. It's the last time I
yes.
checked, at the moment it's selling at I think 120,000 in Ghana, 120, which is almost $10,000 in Ghana.
That's a lot.
I bought it
That's
I
a
bought it
lot.
like $5,000 over here, so almost $5,000 extra to buy it in Ghana. Mhm.
Question. Do you think that the American system has changed your perspective on anything thus far? For the 6 months that you've been here working, has your perspective on any aspect of life, be it your work life, general life, has America changed your outlook on life?
Yeah, it has. When I was coming, I think in Ghana, in the high school, and as they always say that visual art students are stubborn, they are violent, and all that in Ghana. So I've been controlling such students grown up whom I used to flog. If you misbehave, I can flog you with a cane and all that. I know they do that in Jamaica too. So I think
Hold
I was
up.
on top of my game.
Wait. Let me make it very clear.
You do
In
that?
Jamaica,
Uh-huh.
wait. In Jamaica, in high school, you guys
Hmm.
flock students in high school in Ghana?
Right now is I think they are trying to stop it. I think the current education minister was putting a stop to it, but I used to do that, and it really helped my class. But I
But hold
wasn't that
on.
okay.
In Jamaica,
Hmm.
a high school teacher, and I'm pretty sure most of my Jamaicans listening can agree with what I'm saying. High school teachers in Jamaica, for the most part, do not hit students.
Good.
If you try that in Jamaica, the child
Hmm.
will probably hit you back, or you will be in
Hmm.
problems with administration and the other whoever else. But in primary schools and what you call it, infant schools, primary
Okay.
schools and infant schools, you may have more of that happening. It's perhaps more acceptable at that level, but it has definitely simmered down from years ago. So it's not
Okay. Good.
even coming here like my I remember my assistant principal saying to me, but you can't hit the students. This is not Jamaica. And I'm like, but I've never hit a child before. I was a
Okay.
high school teacher in Jamaica. I've never seriously, I might give her one slap or something jokingly, but I've never really hit a child before in Jamaica. So I just want to let the world know that
Don't
Jamaica
do
is a
that
country
again.
moving away from that. And I don't know about primary
Good.
school and infant, but high school you cannot. So
Okay, good.
you are saying that flocking the students was your form of classroom management.
So I correct that part. So when I say flocking, it wasn't the only classroom management, but it could be part
Mm-hmm.
of it. It could be part of it. And as I was saying, I think for the past 3 years or 4 years, the new education minister really sent out a memo that no teacher should flock a child in Ghana education system. So it was
Mm-hmm.
something that was really, really moving around, and certain schools were abiding by that. But I think before that, I used to do that. So if you highly misbehave, I think the highest form will be that. So I
Oh.
was that type of teacher who was very, very playful with my students uh, because when it comes to my class, art should be fun. So I was really, really playful with my students. But when
Mm-hmm.
you decide to misbehave a lot to disturb the class, when you give you assignments, you don't do it and all that, and you want to, sabotage the productivity of the whole class, I sometimes use that. But not, I think the 3 years before coming, since the memo came out, you dare not, just like you were saying. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
really sure by now it has really trickled down to most schools. But I
Right.
don't know, I don't know for the elementary schools and the middle schools in Ghana if they still do that. I can't attest to that. But for my school, for the last 3 years, it was really fizzling out. It was really, really fizzling out. Nobody was using canes and all that. But once in a blue moon, if a student do the highest form of disobedience, that is the time it might attract the flocking. So that was it. So still on the changing part. So when I got here, I know we don't flock. So one thing you have to change that mentality. I changed that.
Mm-hmm.
And two, on my first encounter, I made an interview with one other Ghanaian YouTuber, and I said it over there. I'll say it again. On my first day in class as a middle school art teacher, this is what happened. So I had watched so many videos from you, from Dr. Britain, from other YouTubers telling us that you should introduce yourself, let them know that your accent is quite different from theirs and all. Oh, I had made a nice presentation. My family was in there. My family was in there where I used to stay, my businesses and all that, hoping this is going to interest these kids. I did everything, and they were just looking at, and one kid just stood up and started twerking. Eh, I was
What?
twerking, just doing them. Sit down.
Oh my God.
The worst day in my life, my
Oh
first day in
my
America.
God.
The student was just twerking and all that. So sit
What did you
down.
do?
What else can you do? You can't punish them anyway. So I they were just laughing at me. If you say anything, they are laughing at you, and some are cursing and all that. I said no cursing, and they were just laughing at you.
Hurting.
Hmm. It was so bad. My first day. So this also happened. There was this guy who lifted his leg, put it on the table as I was introducing myself, presenting the slide, hoping they are going to have fun. This kid put his leg on the table and was also playing. They were all over me. I could not control the class. They were all over me. So this guy had his leg on the table, and I told him, "Get your damn foot from the table." I never knew damn was that insulting. So
Ooh.
that day, ooh, he's going to be fired. You'll be sad. The kids were just laughing at me. I wanted to cry, seriously.
And what's
I
funny,
really.
y'all,
Mhm,
they're going to tell you that damn is such a bad word, but then they
mm.
use bad words more.
More than that. More than that. More than that. So
Yo.
I was on that first day, I nearly packed my stuff, go to New York, and if I was going to go back to Ghana, like, I was really, really stressed out.
Oh.
I was really stressed out. So I'm going to say this to everybody. If you are in Africa, any part of the world, prepare yourself. You are not going to change the case. They are rather going to change you. Because I had my own ethics. I had some kind of principles that I abide by. These
Mm-hmm.
kids can just insult you. There's nothing you can do. So you just have to program yourself that you're going to reduce the tempo of your ego. Just calm down a little bit and just tell yourself that they are kids.
Yeah.
They are kids.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, they will never remember whatever thing they did to you today by tomorrow. And I was really shocked. So you insulted me yesterday and you want to play with me today? No. But I realized they are all kids. So I also have to, create more room to accept them. They are
Mm-hmm.
fun to be with. They are really, really fun to be with. But they can be on your nerves sometimes. Really,
So
really
my
be on your
question,
nerves.
y'all, now that you've been 6 months in
Hmm.
a situation like that, you said initially your first day, this child just came up twerking. What would you do now if that should happen next week?
Okay. So it's also part of the classroom management, the involvement of parents. Seriously. I
Mm-hmm.
know, I know you might have heard that US kids are not trained well because you're comparing that to your home country standards.
Right.
That's how they are brought up. So the involvement of parents really helps sometimes. And two, this is a strategy I'm not sure most of the teaching institutions are telling us. So this one thing I do. I can decide to open the referral portal, put it on the smart board, as if that I'm writing you up. Immediately they see that, they will sit down quickly. So they'll stop. And one other thing you can also do, we have an emergency button in our class. If you press it, the hall monitor will just barge in and take the
Mm-hmm.
student who is disrupting your class
Oh,
out.
nice.
So these are the three things that you can use. The involvement of parents, and our principal is one of the most loving person I've ever met.
Oh,
She knows the job is difficult, so she does her best to support us. She does her best. So she has given us this small notebook and motivated us that everything that happens in the class, we should record it. Because it is that same notebook that is
mm-hmm.
going to fight for you as an evidence, as an element of evidence for you when you are called upon the school board. So I record everything that goes on in my class, everything. And some of the students immediately they see that black notebook, you penning it down, they'll stop it. But some may be so stubborn that they don't care the hell about you. They will still do it. I'll write you up. I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't, and they will curse and all that. And sometimes there are some students you just have to act like you haven't seen what they are doing. I have these two students in my class. They intentionally want to see me pissed. They want me to be raged, but I have decided that no more such lifestyle from this 2024. So they intentionally break my art materials, throw them on the ground, hoping I'll be so angry. They keep on doing it till the end of the class. I don't mind right now because I've decided to change myself. Because if I don't change, I can't stay here. I cannot stay here. So if you are coming here, I said decrease the tempo of your ego. If you are so egoistic, this is not the job for you. Don't come.
Yep.
You have to change your mentality. Period. So that's it.
um I'm happy that you touched on the student behavior because, and the truth is, no matter how much we talk about it, it's not
Mhm.
until you experience it for yourself that you'll be saying,
Yeah, it's
wow, I
true.
see what Malika is talking about. I see what y'all was talking about. Because we can speak and speak and speak no more. It's not until you've truly experienced it yourself. The other day in my Telegram group, I asked a question to those in the group. I said, what would you do if a student should call you, and I'm not trying to cuss, but I said, what would you do if a student would call you a
The
bitch
F word.
ass hoe? What if a
Hmm.
student should call you that to your face? what would you do?
Hmm.
And I know they probably think I'm just asking the question for the sake of asking, but I've had a student call me that before for
Oh,
no reason.
simple. Hmm.
I just told my students, they just entered the classroom. All right, you guys, get your materials together. We're going to start. Man, I don't want to be here. You up? I'm not going to say it again. And as you said, they will disrespect you today and tomorrow come hug you up as if there was nothing happening yesterday.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know how they do it because I really don't know how they do it because in Jamaica, if a student doesn't like you, they just don't like you. But I find that
Hmm.
here, a student can disrespect you today and tomorrow want to give you the biggest hug ever. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. So these are things that people should really, really think about. I have just a few more questions to ask you about this because I know it's getting late. Um, I know those who are somewhere in Africa and other parts of the world, it's what 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, about 2 a.m. right now for
Hmm.
some people. I don't want to prolong this too much, but my question is: you've been in Ghana, you've been in America for some months now. Is the grass greener on the other side? The other side being America. Is the grass
Hmm.
greener? Is it all? Earlier on, you said, you've heard of America being this place where you can have all your dreams come true. I know you've not been here for long enough, but in your estimation, based on where you are now and where you possibly see yourself in the next 2 years or so, is the grass greener? And if you could expound on that.
Okay. So no matter the hours, days we will take to explain or justify this debatable pronouncement, it all depends on every individual. So
Mhm.
if you're at home right now and you think this is a greener pasture, it depends on what you're looking at.
Mm,
And when you get here, it depends on what you're going to experience. So for monetary aspects, the money you're going to take here on I think even on my YouTube channel, I tell them I will never hide my pay stub. I show it to everybody. This is it. This is it. So you decide this is what you're going to get. Comparatively, if you compare it to what you are earning in Ghana, you would think it's that
a
huge.
lot.
But if you're going to spend the money in here, it is a chicken change. It's peanut. It is peanut. But when
Mm,
you send the money back home, it can do a lot of things. So if it is your
mm,
aim that you want to do this massive project in your home country and you coming to the US is a better decision for that. I think that's a good decision for you. But for some of us, we are not so much about the project. We just want to make an impact in life. We want to have other experiences, other
mm,
endeavors in life. Just there are a lot of opportunities out here. For that, I will say it. Let me say this. I think my first day in New York, I was in a subway train with my sister, and I intentionally wore one of my African-made clothing. They had kente patterns and all that in it. So I was in a train. About three people were willing to pay me money to get them clothes. 150. I mentioned $150, and it was cool for them.
nice.
So these are opportunities out there. Everything that you do, there is massive opportunity.
Yes.
Massive opportunity. So for that, I'm not so much about the money, as I already said. If you are business minded, this is the place for you. And it's not about you just want to build a house in Ghana, buy one car. If you want that, you can come and enjoy all that in the 3 to 5 years, and you can get that. But I see myself to one person that even if I have 2 weeks in a different environment, I want to learn everything I have to learn. I
Mm-hmm.
want to acquire something from this new environment because I don't know what I'm going to use this knowledge or this
Mm-hmm.
impartation to do in the next second, the next 2 years, the next 3 years. So I do my best to learn everything that comes my way over here. So I'm learning certain things that I wasn't doing in the US. And this time, I don't have full access of my business back in Ghana. So it means I'd have to, because I'm an entrepreneur, I have to be looking around for other business opportunities aside the teaching job and all that. So I am learning a lot. So if you want to
Mm-hmm.
learn, enjoy life to the fullest, this is the place. But if you are that person who has a queer ambition, you don't want so much, I want one house in Ghana and a beautiful car and all that, come quickly, do your exchange program, then go back to your country. Always sending the money back home, let them buy you a land, build all that. That is your life.
Yeah.
So I will conclude that greener pastures is relative. So if you think US
Mm-hmm.
is a heaven, come and experience it by yourself. And when you experience it and
Mm-hmm.
you see that the greener pastures is very relative, you decide your next move. So that's what I'll say. For me, I'm still in the learning process. I can't say that this place is greener pastures, but there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of them. For the monetary aspect, I'm taking like 3,400. And if you compare 3,400 to someone who is in IT here in the US, it's someone's weekly pay. So it means
Right.
there are opportunities in IT, which I can, hurriedly be doing the teaching job, but I can hurriedly be learning certain things. I know
Right.
people who are taking this monthly salary of 3,400 a week in nursing. It means there are opportunities in nursing. If you want, you can learn that. So it's a
Right.
learning process. So you decide what place is going to be your greener pastures. If it is the US, and if you want to make that small ambition of yours back home, you decide to as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, y'all. Let me quickly just read a few of these comments. So Emmanuel is saying, great interview. Jerome says, y'all, Aubrey and Malika is the type of conversation I want to hear. Thank you, Jerome, and thank you, Emmanuel. And Ruth was letting you know that in Jamaica, you can't hit kids, not even in the primary schools.
Good, good.
Isha was comparing the buses used in Ghana for teachers to get to work as the Portmore bus. Portmore is a place in Jamaica, and the bus is always packed. Um, Somebody's asking a question, and y'all, I'm gonna, ask you to answer the question, guys. Y'all has a YouTube channel that he's gonna be talking about very soon. But since he has a YouTube where he also, encourages and educates teachers on how they too can relocate to the US, I'm gonna ask him to answer this question. So AJ is asking, I'm new to this. Do you need a teaching degree to teach in the US, or is any degree fine?
Okay, so Malika has been stressing on this a lot. It is only in Ghana where a teacher diploma will be allowed to teach. It is not done here. The lowest or the basic minimum requirement is a 4-year teaching bachelor degree. So I didn't go to a teacher's college, but I did a 4-year program in Ken University, the biggest and the best university in Ghana. And
Mm-hmm.
I went for a postgraduate diploma in education to add up to my 4-year degree. So we use only bachelor's degree as a stepping stone from there. You don't take diploma, it should be bachelor's degree. Even if you have a master that is not educational related, I think you might be shaking. So the basic entry point is a bachelor's degree.
Thank you. And somebody else, Joy is saying you both have been instrumental. Thank you, Joy. That's what we're here for. Pathan SSSS, Pathan sent a whole bunch of stuff. Based on how long this is, Pathan, I'm gonna ask you to put this long question in in one of our Telegram groups. Y'all has a Telegram group. I have a Telegram group. Put this long question. It's a bunch of stuff. Bunch of stuff. Put it in y'all's Telegram or my Telegram. Please, somebody will reach out to you about that or message me on Instagram. But this is a long one. All right. So, y'all, could you talk to us more about what your YouTube channel is? Just tell us about it.
Okay, so I think my YouTube channel also has my name, Yao Abri. Uh, as a business person or business oriented person, I wanted my name to be over every product of mine so that whenever you go to Google and type Yao Abre, it's going to pop up everywhere. So my clothing company, Yao
Ah,
Abre, Any other thing that I do is your average. So it all started when I wanted to, the prophecy came and I wanted to fulfill the prophecy. And I was still doubting myself. I would not leave my business behind and let it perish. So I had learned a lot watching your
Mm,
videos, watching Dr. Braden's video, surfing on the internet a lot, researching. I'm a good researcher, so I downloaded a lot of information in my head. So I just got up one day. If I'm not going to go to the US again, why not set up a YouTube channel where you can give this information to people to also use it and enjoy from this same program? And my
mm,
first video, I think YouTube suggested it to me, I think a month ago. And if you had looked at the bony face of mine in the video and all that, I was just laughing. So my first video, even my college teachers were just laughing at me that I am now an agent and all that. You have not traveled before, you have no experience, and you are telling people that you can help them travel. It doesn't make sense. But I told them that we have footballer, we have coaches that are coaching the biggest and the best teams in the world. They had
yes,
never ever played football before.
yes.
So they are not making sense. So I kept on. And I think God was really watching that, the good heart I had for people to, have make a lot of impact in this sport. So I made the first video in July. November, I applied to IAG. February, I got a job offer. So it was just 6 months. So I see it to be a calling on me just to let people hear about this program. People still do not believe that it is real. In Ghana, they believe that you have to pay almost $10,000 to a connection man, an agent, to bring you to the United
What?
States. No, it's true, $10,000, and they are going to give you they are going to help you get a B visa, a visitor's visa. And when you come in here, you'll be stranded. So I always told my teachers there are a lot of opportunities out there. You are not going to pay anything. During
Mm,
my process, I spent almost like $800 for the whole process, excluding my
mm.
air ticket. $800, which
And
was
you're not paying
no,
it to the agencies. This is
you are just
visa application.
support. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanted teachers to know that it is possible. It is possible. That was one aim. And two, I'm not insulting my Ghanaian teachers, but I know people in Ghana who are teachers. But being able to read an information from Google to understand and assimilate and apply to get this teaching program is not easy for them. So I started the YouTube channel in our local language with the aim that if they watch it, they will see that it is possible. If someone is even speaking to you, that you can relate. So that
Mm-hmm.
was the aim. I'm a businessman, so I was just bringing out the problems, all the shortfalls in your channel and all that, because yours was all in English. And I know teachers can speak English, they can read English, but how many of them can apply to the application stages? Even you on your
Right.
Telegram page,
Yes.
on your Telegram page, I'm very sure that people are reading an information you have placed there, but they will still ask you, what is this? What is that? So I decided to use that as a selling point or a niche for me to let my YouTube stand very unique. So it was in my local language tree. So in 4 months' time, then God made a miracle. Doors were opening. I got a visa and all that. So I decided that why don't I change from the local language, then make it in English? Though it's going to affect the
Yes.
main purpose, it's going to affect the main purpose of my channel. So when I started, people when they saw my aftermath videos, me being a background that is more whiter, more different from what they used to see in my Ghanaian videos. They said, "Oh, okay." Now they started to follow, and then I got a
Mm,
TikTok channel. People started asking questions. Now they became very interested. So that is the channel. What I do is just like the good course you are embarking on, the same thing. So it is possible for you to move from
yeah.
Ghana to come to the US on this cultural exchange program. You can get an H-1B, you can get a green card through the same process. And one other aim is to focus more on Africans because you are in the Caribbean. So the Philippines will be following you more, and a few of Africans will be following you. So if they are seeing their fellow African from
Mhm.
Ghana with a local name and all that, they can easily relate. So that is it. And sometimes I copy some content from you, try to localize it to my people. So I
Mhm.
thank you so much for the good job you are doing.
Thank
And Dr. Britain, you are all doing great job. You are really, really doing great job. I watched your
thank you.
video before coming over, so I don't know if I should get you a nice package for this Valentine, a very
Oh,
big one.
that's fine. Listen,
So
good,
that's
you're
it.
good. But y'all, I know you said that you started out using Tree to present your information. Personally, there are many times when presenting when I just want to put certain of the information or some of the information in patois, which is the local
Mm-hmm.
Creole for Jamaica. But I've realized that, and you can't run away from this, y'all. There will be people from all over the world watching you, not just
Mm-hmm.
Ghanaians. Personally, I have watched YouTubers since being here now, but I've watched YouTubers who are also, presenting on teaching in the US, and they're in other countries and they present some of it in English, some of it in their local tongue. And I really want to hear what they're saying and understand what they're saying, but I can't. And so they start off in English and then they get comfortable in getting their own language. And then I stop listening because I no longer understand what you're saying, but I know that you're saying something that I want to hear.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's my little encouragement to you. Do it in English. If your Ghanaians understand English, they'll have to speak English coming into the US anyway.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um, so you could still do your detailed explanations, but in English, to the best of your ability. uh but yeah, that's my main reason for doing most of my content, even though English is the official language of Jamaica. But I would really want to say a lot of things in patois because I am comfortable with patois.
mhm.
Language is, I teach Spanish, French, um
Okay.
and yeah, I love languages. I really do. Even though you know, I will make a grammatical mistake on my YouTube and not edit it out because I think it's all a part of the process. I love languages, and with loving languages, I really do love my patois, and I would love to present in patois. But I understand that my viewers are not just from Jamaica; they are
Yeah.
from other parts of the world, not just from the Caribbean, that may also understand patois. So I would not have my African viewers if I was not presenting in English. But guys, if you want to follow Yah on YouTube, I've put the link to his YouTube in the description box below. So you can just click and head on over to Yah Aubrey's YouTube channel. As he said, he's on TikTok. You can find him on TikTok. And he's very, very helpful. Guys, get into his Telegram group. He is very responsive in his Telegram group. Get onto his thing. I see where he's at 800 and something subscribers on YouTube. Guys, if you are my subscribers, please get y'all Aubrey to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you know, you know. Get him there, please. Me a beg on no, please. Go over to y'all Aubrey's channel. He's giving quality information. Subscribe. Get him to that 1,000 mark, okay? Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like this video if you have not yet liked the video. Y'all, thank you so much, so much, so much again for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come onto my little program to talk about your. I really enjoyed learning about some of the Ghanaian. I didn't ask one question. It's a very small question. It just, I'm sorry. And my viewers know that my mind goes all over the place. How many students were in your class in Ghana? I didn't ask that question.
Okay, so I think for one grade, I had almost 55 in
Whoa!
one class. Yeah,
Whoa!
55.
Woo!
Mm-hmm. 55.
Whoa!
And that was even manageable. So ask me how many students do I have
How
in the
many do you have
US?
now?
So I teach I think 6 blocks in a day, 6 blocks, and each class averagely 27 students. So I'm really, really being stressed out every day. It's not
Wow.
easy. It's not
Wow.
easy. It's not easy at all.
Wow.
But we are sailing through.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've
So
given
I
me a
teach
lot of
almost
wow moments.
almost 150 students, every 150 students every day, every day. So that is your job over here.
That's a lot. You're a connections teacher, right? As art, you're a
Yeah.
connections teacher. That's interesting. I'm a connections teacher too, but I only have three
Okay.
classes daily.
Wow. Then you are
Yeah,
lucky.
yeah. But once again, let me wrap up. Thank you. Thank you, guys. If you have
Welcome.
further questions after the live has ended, feel free to put them in the comment section. I can't stress enough, go over to Y'all Abre's channel and show him some love over there. Thank you guys for watching. It's your girl Malika, aka Mali, aka Malibu, whatever you want to call me. You don't know it's me saying bye.
Bye.